Hi, this is Sweet June. How's everybody doing today? Trying to get over this cold that I have. Slowly but surely getting over it. I got a headache. Had a headache yesterday, and now I got it again today. I'm not a person that gets headaches. I'm not prone to get headaches. So when I do get headaches, I kind of freak out a little bit because I don't get headaches. So um, I had a headache yesterday, and I got a headache again today. So I don't know if it's because of the cold or what's going on. But anyway, slowly but surely trying to get past this cold. But I typically don't do reaction videos. You guys know that um, I don't typically do reaction videos, and I'm not jumping on that bandwagon because that's not who I am. I don't talk about people, criticize people, or judge people. But I have to. Um, I feel like it's my responsibility and my Christian responsibility to um, react to this. My Jazzy Life did a video where she was talking about um, that she was pregnant with twins. Like I said, you guys know I typically don't do reaction videos, and I'm not on here to judge her as a mother. You guys know that I'm Team Mom, and I don't come on here to judge the mothers or for them having the children that they already have. I'm not judging them. I try to support them in every way. I know they have said something in the past about flip floppers or whatever. Well, I'm not trying to be a flip flopper because it's not about being a flip flopper. Because if that was the case, I would have been doing a whole lot of them. And I'm not on here to talk about it. I don't. That's not why I'm on YouTube. I don't talk about people, and certainly I'm not going to talk about single mothers. I don't go there. But I feel like I need to um, provide some type of witness to her because I am a Jehovah's Witness and it's my responsibility. That's why they Jehovah's Witnesses. Well, that's why it's we. That's what we do. That's what we do. We witness to people and we do all forms of witnessing. We knock on. We don't just knock on doors. People think that the only type of witnessing we do is we knock on doors. No, we do all forms of witnessing. We'll even hit you up over the phone. We hit you up over the phone. We even write you a letter. You ever got a letter in the mail from a witness? We'll write you a letter. We'll hit you up over the phone. Uh, we even send you an email. We know your email address. And we do informal witnessing, and we do this thing called street witnessing, where we just kind of walk up to somebody, we kind of roll up to somebody and say, people typically, I don't particularly like to do that kind of witnessing because I've done it before. I don't particularly like it because a lot of times, we'll go to gas stations. I know the last time I did it, we was at the college campus in the parking lot. And a lot of times when we get people, they're in the midst of they're getting ready to go somewhere. They're getting ready to go home. They're getting ready to go to work, or they're going to work, or they're going home, or they're going to class, or whatever the situation is like that. And so they're real busy, and so they're kind of agitated that you're stopping them and talking to them. They don't really want to hear it. So it's not the best form, in my opinion, of witnessing, but that's what we do. And we also have the cart witnessing. We do the carts now, where if you've seen the witnesses in your city, in various places, they have a cart with literature on it, and they're either standing by the cart or they're sitting by the cart. So we don't say nothing in that situation. We just kind of just let people walk by, and if they see something that they're interested in, we give it to them, and we'll maybe explain something, offer a Bible study or whatever situation like that. So that's probably the most laid back witnessing that we do. But I do, with, like, whenever I do videos on here and I do spiritual videos, that's called informal witnessing. It's a form of witnessing, and so we also do informal witnessing. So informal witnessing is kind of hard too because um, you know if it's a situation, like I could be talking to a person. Sometimes I can be talking to a person, particularly if I'm at work. I'll be talking to a person and I'll sneak something in right quick, kind of slide it in there right quick, you know, um, or something like that. And so, um, but there was times where I was, asked questions and stuff like that, and I was able to give a full informal witness to a person. So it depends on the situation. So, in any time I do spiritual videos here on YouTube, I can count that as time. It's a form of witnessing, you know. So anything that I'm talking about related to the Bible or whatever, as far as the Bible, that's informal witness. So I can actually count that as time. That goes towards my time. So, um, and that's one of the reasons why we do witness is because it is our responsibility as Christians, to witness, to people. It's a scripture. I don't know where it's at. I probably should have came prepared. There's a scriptural reason why. Other than it's a scripture where Jesus said, "Go out and make disciples." That scripture, and it's another scripture in there. They say if that person loses their life, then uh, that they're something like that. I'm not gonna. I can't quote it right now because I don't know verbatim. But that's also the reason why we witness as well. It's our responsibility. It's our responsibility as witnesses to witness. So I got to be doing some type of witnessing because I don't get out in service a whole lot. I'm keeping 100 with you. I don't get out in service a whole lot. So I figure I'm already on YouTube. So might as well get a little witness in while I'm on here. Kill two birds with one stone. And I tell them that I witness online. However, and I'll do a little witnessing on Facebook here and there too. So, however, with that being said, I feel like, um, and I'm just basically doing a reaction specifically. This is not directed towards her. I'm specifically reacting to the video that she just did, or what she just talked about. So that's what I'm talking about. Um, it was kind of alarming to me, very concerning to me, and I just had to hope she doesn't get mad at me. But I got to keep it. You guys, I tell you all the time, I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm going to keep it 100. I do a lot of videos addressing the single mothers, but I talk about all the single mothers. I don't go into specifics and pointing out certain ones. With my videos, I direct it towards all single mothers and all young ladies before they get that way. Okay, so that's what my videos are directed at. It's not directed at anyone in Pacific, but this video I'm specifically reacting to Jazzy Life's video, what she just did about she found out she was pregnant with twins and she had an abortion. Well, that's kind of disturbing to me. As you guys know, in other videos I have stated that abortion is murder. And she said that this is not the first time she's had an abortion, that she's had other abortions. Now I don't know, she didn't say a number. I don't know how many that she's had, but I will say, as I've stated in other videos, abortion is in fact murder, and abortion should not, under any circumstance, not be used as a form of birth control. I've stated this in other videos. In the other videos that I was talking about I was directing that towards the men, because I know I did one video where I said black men, abortion is not a form of birth control, because a lot of your male YouTubers will get on here and they'll say, well, if the man don't want nothing to do with the baby, then you have an abortion. So that video was directed towards black men, the black men, some of the black men on YouTube that talk about that. So I have stated that in other videos that that was very disturbing to me. I'm gonna be honest; it was very disturbing to me to hear her say that. Um, Abortion is not. She said she's had other abortions. I don't know how many, but abortion is not a form of birth control. I will say this. I feel like it's my responsibility as a Christian, to say that abortion is not a form of birth control. Um, you need to, what you need to do is prevent yourself from getting pregnant. To take measures to prevent yourself from getting pregnant in the first place. And I get that she may not be ready to have any more children. Um, you know, I've stated many times on here, and I did 2 videos. I think it was part 1 and 2, encouraging single mothers, YouTube single mothers. That I was directing that towards the single mothers on YouTube, uh, to abstain from sex until marriage. And the problem with single mothers having sex outside a marriage, a lot of times, um, now I'm 52 years old. I'm speaking from experience. Anything that I'm saying on my videos, I'm speaking from experience, because where these young ladies are trying to go, I didn't already done been. The road that they're trying to go down, they're in their late 20s, early 30s, or pushing, no, late 20s, pushing 30. Well, where they're trying to go, I didn't already done been. So I've already traveled that road. And so if I see a caution sign, if I'm going down the road and I see a caution sign or some trouble ahead, I'm going to make sure I warn the people coming after me. If I know that you got to travel down that same road, then I'm going to go ahead and warn you what's ahead. And so um, I take a vested interest in single mothers. I care about the single mothers. I care about what happens to them, and I know, me being me was raising kids on my own myself, that I do know this. I know that a lot of times men will use single mothers for sex. In a lot of cases, they don't really want to be with a single mother, but they will use a single mother for sex. And that is one thing single mothers have to look out for. Being a single mother, you have to be cautious of that. You have to watch for that, because you don't want to be taken advantage of. You don't want to be, even if you're not trying to abstain from sex, and you're like, well, okay, well, I have sexual needs, but at the end of the day, you don't just have sexual needs. You have a desire for companionship. Because I know when I was a single mother raising my kids, when they were younger, I wanted companionship. I wanted a husband. I wanted someone that was not only going to be a husband for me, but be a father figure to my sons. I prayed. I prayed for that. So I just didn't want someone to have sex with. And there were times, I'm keeping it 100, because I wasn't always a witness. I didn't come into the truth until I was in my 30s. So before then, I was doing what these young ladies are doing, and they pretty much, until I decided to dedicate my life to God. I was having a good time. Was I whoring around? No, I wasn't whoring around, but I was having a good time. You know. Um, but then I came to the realization that, well, June, you want to get married, and if you want to get married, you need to start conducting yourself in a better way, or there's certain things that you should not be doing if you want to land a husband. And I wanted to serve God. So that was enough for me to start abstaining. And then I felt like I was getting used after a while. Now, I'm not saying I was innocent, and because in some cases I was trying to use too. Not going to go into all those details, but there were some cases I was trying to use too. So I'm not going to say I was totally innocent, an innocent angel in a situation. But as I said, I didn't already been around. I ain't been around the block a whole lot, but I've been around there at least a couple times. So I do know that a lot of times men want to use single mothers for sex. When I was a single mother, there were guys that wanted to use me for sex. they had no interest in marrying me. They had no interest in. I know after I got started studying, I don't know if I was quite baptized yet, but I was studying. Um, I ran into a guy that I used to be intimate with, and he was like, we used to have a hot tub place here, but they closed it. We don't have it here no more. It was actually literally, actually, it was down the street from me. We don't have it no more. They closed it, and I told him, that I was trying to serve God, and I abstain from sex and all that kind of stuff. And I was telling him all that stuff, and I said, well, if I'm good enough for you to have sex with, I'm good enough for you to marry, right? And then he wanted me to go to the hot tubs with him. He said, well, I'm not ready to get married yet. I said, well, yeah, I thought I was good enough for you to have sex with. Well, I'm not good enough to be your wife. Oh, I'm not ready to get married. Well, you're not ready to get married, then you're not ready to get this. Then he wanted me to go to the hot tub with him, and I was like, I can't be going to no hot tubs with you. I said, I can't be going to no hot tubs with you. I declined that. So that let me know right there, he was only using me for sex. When I was involved with him, he was only using me for sex. Okay? So, and I'm not saying, I basically just said that to him for argument's sake, because he's not somebody that I wanted to marry anyway. I was basically just saying that to him for argument's sake, and was letting him know that I don't have sex outside of marriage anymore. And that just let me know right there, okay, well, you just want to use me for sex. You're not interested in a relationship with me. You're not interested in marrying me. You want to use me for sex. And that's what a lot of men want to do with single mothers. And that's something, my Jazzy life, that's something that you need to be really, really careful. You really need to be careful that you're not allowing these men to use you and take advantage of you. They really don't want to be with a single mother. They really don't want to marry you. They ain't not trying to wife you up. I'm not saying that's the case with this guy, but it kind of sounded like it. Because when you said that you told him, he tried to accuse you of being with somebody else. And that's typically what guys do. They deflect. They deflect and they try to say, well, it's not my baby or whatever the situation is. When they don't want to be bothered. They say things like that when they don't want to be bothered. So and they had their own agenda. So that's kind of a red flag when she said that kind of was a red flag for me. And I was like, sounds like he was in it for one thing. Because if he had been more emotionally invested, that would not have came out of his mouth. If he had a little bit more of an emotional investment in a relationship, he would have been like, really, you think you are? You know what, let's get to the doctor, find out for sure what's going on, then we'll talk about what we're going to do. Okay? If there was a little bit more of an emotional investment there, then that probably would have been the thing that he would have said instead of deflecting and trying to say she was involved with other guys. So that was a red flag for me, and that didn't sound good for me. I said, it sounds like he was only in it for one thing. That's something that you really got to be careful of, Jazzy. You got to be careful to not let guys use you. Look, you got 4 kids to raise, babe. You got 4 kids to raise. You gotta have it together for them babies. They need you. They need you. You're their mother. You gotta have, when we're a single mother, we gotta have it together. We don't have the luxury of falling apart mentally, physically, emotionally. We don't, as single mothers, we don't have the luxury of doing that. Well, I can fall apart now because my sons are grown. They can kind of fend for themselves. So I can fall out now if I want to. But when I was raising my kids, I didn't have when they were little and they were coming up, I didn't have the luxury of doing that. You don't have the luxury of doing that. So you gotta hold it together. And part of holding it together is making wise decisions. Not getting yourself in situations that is going to cause you emotional breakdown, mental breakdown, to where you can't be there for your babies. Because whatever it is that you're going through, it's going to roll over to them. They're going to take the brunt of that. Whatever you're going through emotionally and mentally and spiritually, it's going to roll over to them. They're going to take the blunt of that. And so as a single mother, you got to hold it together. Because those babies didn't ask to be here. And you got to make wiser decisions. You got to be really careful of the types of men that you're getting involved with, babe. Because not all these guys have your best interest at heart. They don't have your children's best interest at heart. They out looking for one thing. I'm not saying they're all that way, but a whole lot of them are. When I read some of these blogs and stuff on YouTube, I hear what some of the guys are saying. Just get what you gonna get and keep it moving. Don't date them or don't marry them. And it's a whole lot of them that are saying that. It's really rare to find. It takes a special kind of man. It takes a really special kind of man to come in and be a father figure to another man's kids and be a loving husband to you. That takes a special kind of man. And that special kind of man is rare. They few and far between. They're hard to find. That being the case, I would have had one a long time ago. Those kind of men are hard to find. They're not. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. They're hard. A lot of these guys are out to get one thing, but they want to make you think that they got. They got to make you think that they are emotionally invested to get what they want. And then once they get what they want, they out. Once you told him, if he had any kind of emotional investment in you, once you told him you was pregnant, that shouldn't have been his response. That should not have been his response. And I'm sorry you felt the need that had to kill the babies, you know, but you need to be taking the necessary precautions to keep yourself from getting in that situation in the first place if you're not going to abstain. I always highly recommend that you abstain, but if you're not going to abstain, then you need to take the necessary precautions because they have a fatal disease out here, babe, and it's called AIDS. I don't want you getting that. I don't want you to get AIDS because those babies need you. And statistically, black women have the highest HIV rates. Statistically, black women have very high HIV rates. It's real. You don't want to get something. That was something that I had to think about when I was out there. You know, I said, I don't want to get a disease that's going to take me away from here 10 years from now. It's going to take me away from my boys 10 years from now. And don't get me wrong. Please don't take this the wrong way. I'm not judging you. But you got to be smarter. You got to make wiser decisions. You got to protect yourself. Because if you got a disease, what if it wasn't a pregnancy and what if it was AIDS instead? Or herpes? I know what he would have done. He would have said you the one that gave it to me. Because that's what they do, lady. That's what they do. You gotta use a course of wisdom when you're dealing with these guys. You gotta take the time to get to know them and find out where their head is and where their heart is. And you gotta take the necessary precautions. Abortion is murder. The Bible talks about the shedding of innocent blood. And God holds us accountable for that. You cannot use abortion as a form of birth control. God will hold you accountable. Abortion is not a form of birth control. It's not. It is not birth control. It is murder. You're taking an innocent child's life. And that is serious. That's serious. I get it that you wasn't ready, but that was something that should have been thought of beforehand before you laid down and had sexual relations. Okay? Abortion is murder. It's murder. I want you to really think about that. It's murder. And God does hold us accountable for that, for murder. It's shedding of innocent blood. So I just thought that I'd tell you that, give you that information, give you some food for thought. You know I'm not on here to judge you, but I'm just merely reacting to the video that you put out about possibly being pregnant with twins and having an abortion. It's not okay. And in the future, you need to make wiser decisions. You got to be really careful about the kind of guys you're getting involved with. Pray about it. Make it a matter of prayer. If you're not sure about somebody, make it a matter of prayer. Because you could take anything to Jehovah God. You could take anything to Him. You could take you. We could pray about everything. We could take everything. I even pray over my cars. We could take everything to Jehovah God in prayer. There's nothing that we can't come to Him about. There's nothing that's off limits to Him. There's nothing that we can't come to Him about. If you meeting somebody and you like them, you pray about them. You ask God if this is the right person for you to be with. Show you a sign, and He will show you if you're willing to open up your eyes. You got to be willing to open up your heart and your eyes to see what He shows you. But it's for your protection. It's for your protection. Because at the end of the day, you got 4 babies to raise, babe. You got 4 babies to raise, and they need you to have it together. Those babies need you to have it together. You got to have it together mentally and emotionally because they need you. Okay? That's all. I mean, I just had to react to that. I mean, I just wanted to give you that information. I'm like I said, I'm not trying to be messy on here. I don't usually jump on that band. I'm not trying to jump on that bandwagon, but I had to let you know what was up. Okay, let me know in the comment section. I don't want people coming in my comment section bad mouthing Jazzy because that's not what this video is about. I don't want anybody coming in the comment section bad mouthing her or saying horrible things about her or whatever. You know, if you're gonna say something constructive, okay, say something constructive that's going to help her. But I don't want anybody in my comment section bad mouthing her because that's not what this video is about. Okay, make sure you please like, subscribe, and share, and hit that notification bell. Peace and love. This is Sweet June.